Good afternoon. Today we got to know through the media that a senior cabinet minister, Sri Sharad Pawar, has commented on the government's decision-making process in a way. In a letter to the Prime Minister, he has voiced his concern about how this government has taken recently such decisions which are very anti-poor. The examples that he has quoted there or instances that he has taken there relate to the cotton export decisions and also, if I've read it correct, the sugar policy. Both of which have been matters which the BJP had raised at that time, even as the decision on the policies were being made. It is worrying that a union cabinet minister holding a very senior cabinet minister holding a very big portfolio of agriculture comments on issues related to agriculture related matters like cotton export or sugar policy. On both counts, he thinks that this government has taken anti-people decision, anti-specifically poor decisions. We had very clearly raised voices saying the government's decision seems to be short-sighted. Government's decisions seem to hit at the farmer who's showing resilience in producing even in adverse circumstances. Such decisions being taken at a time when the crop comes in has a very negative bearing on the farmer. We have elaborated on all these points earlier, even as the decisions were being taken. You are aware of it. And in fact, the Gujarat Chief Minister had also written in very detailed letter about why and on why the cotton export policy or the decision to ban exports were really untimely and in fact bad in logic. It is therefore very worrying that the cabinet minister dealing with this portfolio has, of course, albeit in a very delayed way, but nevertheless has said roughly the same things that we are saying. It's certainly going to hit the farmer, hit the poor. The decision making of this government is puzzling even the cabinet's colleagues. Its own cabinet colleagues are puzzled as to what kind of decisions are being taken. We've had other alliance partners also speak in similar voices. So not only is this government showing policy paralysis, it's also taking decisions which don't seem to be in the comprehension of its own ministers. Governance in every way is suffering. Lack of decision, lack of timely decision, lack of decision in consultation with its own ministers. We are very worried, and as a responsible opposition party, we feel that we stand vindicated when we have repeatedly raised this voice that this government has absolutely no will to govern. They are sitting there wanting to be in power without a thought for the suffering farmers or the consumers. Whether it is export policy or whether it's the procurement policy or the inflation, they have shown not just indifference, but they are confusing decision making. So Sharad Pawarji's letter, I think, is very significant, and it vindicates the kind of arguments we have been placing before the people of India. The other issue on which the BJP would want to state its position today is on the 2G related presidential reference with which the government of India has approached the Supreme Court. Whilst I'm not going into all aspects of the presidential reference, again through the media we have come to understand that one of the questions raised is relating to should we cancel the license issued during NDA time also. It's astonishing that this government, which does not take its own executive decisions, periodically shows signs of being unclear how to move forward. In this case, in spite of the 2G references of the NDA time being very clearly above board, clearly as per norms and regulations and followed the procedure, is also being made a part of this reference. But more importantly, on matters where they have to take decisions at the executive level, under the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, you're seeking guidance even on matters which have to be executive decisions only. Very well, it is as a fallout of a major decision of the Supreme Court. But clearly this reflects how even an indecisive government, is seeking under the jurisdiction of advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court guidance even on matters which are very executive in nature. The third issue, which is very worrying, is about the interlocutor's report, which had been submitted to the Union Home Minister some time back. And I think the Cabinet Committee on Securities is going through it today, and it will take a call whether it can be released for the public. We do not know the contents of that report, we admit. Today, in one of the newspapers, there was a report very clearly relating to the pre-1953 position, going back or not going back, or speculating on whether the interlocutors have suggested anything to say that we could go back to the pre-1953 position in Jammu and Kashmir. We do not know yet what is in the report. The newspaper also has put it in a very speculative way. But the BJP very clearly cautions that returning to pre-1953 may not be the best step that they can consider. We'll wait for the report to be released. All of us will definitely go through it and come back to you on it. शरद पवार जी के विषय में आज मीडिया के द्वारा शरद पवार जी जो सीनियर यूनियन कैबिनेट मंत्री हैं, वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर को एक चिट्ठी लिखे हैं जिसमें सरकार की पॉलिसी जो कॉटन एक्सपोर्ट और चीनी के विषय में पॉलिसी जो है, उनके ऊपर उनके आपत्ति बतलाया गया। आपत्ति इस विषय के ऊपर है कि सरकार की नीयत और सरकार की डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस गरीबी रेखा के नीचे जो लोग हैं उनके खिलाफ लग रही है, एंटी पुअर लग रही है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस विषय के ऊपर बहुत ही चिंताजनक है, क्योंकि इन्हीं दो विषयों के ऊपर, कॉटन एक्सपोर्ट और चीनी के विषय के ऊपर, हम जब डिसीजन सरकार ले रहे थे उस समय हमारी आपत्ति पब्लिक में बोले। और आज जो कैबिनेट में सीनियर मंत्री हैं शरद पवार जी, उनके लेख के द्वारा यही विषय आ रही है बाहर। हमें लग रहा है सिर्फ गवर्नेंस सफर नहीं हो रही है, पॉलिसी पैरालिसिस सिर्फ नहीं है, मगर कंफ्यूजन भी है। सरकार को ऐसे डिसीजंस लेना पड़ रही है जिससे गरीब लोग को बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है, फिर भी वो ले रही हैं। अगर ये इंक्लूसिव सरकार बनाने के लिए 2004 में इलेक्शन जीत कर आए, कहाँ है इंक्लूसिव जब आप ही के एक कैबिनेट मंत्री बोल रहे हैं कि आपके डिसीजन लेना एंटी पुअर बन रही है। इसीलिए इस सरकार को बहुत सारे विषय में जवाब देना पड़ेगा कि आप महंगाई कम करने के विषय में क्यों असफल रहे। नॉट एक साल, 2-3 साल से असफल हैं, और उसके ऊपर आप साफ कुछ भी आपके तरफ से स्टेप ऐसे कदम नहीं उठा रहे हैं जिससे वो बोझ कम होगा आम आदमी के लिए। इस विषय में भी जब किसान उनके फसल ले आ रहे हैं, उस समय आपके पॉलिसी तुरंत बढ़ा रहे हैं या बदल रहे हैं, या एक्सपोर्ट को खुलेआम ओपन कर रहे हैं या तो बंद कर रहे हैं, मगर उससे किसान को लाभ नहीं मिल रही है, जैसे कंज्यूमर को भी, ग्राहक का भी लाभ नहीं मिल रही है। फिर किसके फायदा उठाने के लिए आप डिसीजन ले रही हैं केंद्र सरकार। इसीलिए सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट आज बहुत ही, केंद्र सरकार बहुत ही विषयों के ऊपर उनके अपने कैबिनेट मंत्री को जो विषय के ऊपर आपत्ति है उन विषयों में जवाब देने का दबाव है, मगर उस दबाव के जवाब नहीं आ रही है। थैंक यू। ओह सॉरी, तीसरी एक विषय मैं आपके सामने रखना चाह रही थी। सेंट्रल बजट में एक विषय जिक्र किया है 2012-13 में कि हर एक प्रॉपर्टी, इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी के लेन देन में, खरीदारी में 1% TDS डिडक्शन होगी। मतलब फॉर ट्रांसैक्शंस विच आर ऑन इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी 1% डिडक्शन in TDS form will take place. This is a provision made in this recent budget. And this will have to be proved every time the transaction is taking place. It is done with two objectives, I guess. One, of course, to speedily gain revenue, so that for every transaction over 50 lakhs, there will be 1% TDS deduction in the urban areas, and in over for 25 lakhs in other areas, there will be 1% TDS deduction. Probably the central government wants to collect its revenue early, which is very welcome. And they also probably want to have greater reportage regarding real estate transactions, which is very welcome. But what has happened here, and where BJP has an objection, on which again the Gujarat Chief Minister has written a letter to the Prime Minister. Yes, it is affecting the federal structure in that revenue collection in matters related to land transactions will have a bearing on state revenue collection. And in this matter, the central government has not even consulted the state governments. It has brought in this provision which will lead to certain kind of amendments in the tax laws, but without consulting the state governments. One, which will have a bearing on state revenues. Two, and third, it will put the buyer and seller also in great difficulty, because they will now have to deal with two authorities. Not only will you be dealing with the land registrar, but also you will be dealing with the income tax authorities, because the land registrars will be instructed that till they prove that the transaction TDS 1% tax deduction at source has been done with documentary proof, the actual registration of the land cannot take place. So for a buyer of property, a regular normal citizen, he will have to now deal with having to get the proof of having the TDS paid, then produce the proof to the land registrar, and only then his land will be, the transaction will be finalized. Now, this will also therefore mean that the state governments will have a delay in realization of its own revenues, because even at the point of the buyer and seller, it's going to mean so much of transaction, so many delays in the payment, delays in the proof of payment, and delays in the proof of having paid the TDS. It will mean that the state governments will take longer to realize what is otherwise a due in name of stamp duty. Stamp duty realization for state governments will also be delayed. Therefore, the government of India will have to have a rethink on this matter as to how they are going to execute it, consult with the state governments before taking a call on this matter. It's very well to propose in the budget and take a position on it, but in a federal India, it is better that on matters which will affect the state revenues, they should have consulted the state governments. Thank you very much.